Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I've made an apron. I've used young girl's print. Has some cute little sayings on it. You'll see those when you actually get to see a picture of the fabric. I'm using Simplicity number 4282 apron pattern as a guide. For the view is E. I kind of made some modifications. You'll see those along the way. I didn't make a scalloped edge. I made just a curved edge. And I put a little strip of straight fabric across here where they wanted some lace. And so anyway, I put a piece that goes with the pattern. I hope you enjoy this. It's going to have a couple of pictures where I had the fabric laid out on the table before I cut it out, and then also a little explanation that I had to make my own bias binding. I had already cut out one piece of bias binding before I showed you the piece that's laid out. I still haven't cut that one out yet, but I will before I make anything else. I do have a correction on the amount of bias binding that I did actually get. It was 216 inches, and that equates to about 18 feet or 6 yards. I still think that's a really good amount of bias binding to get out of a piece of fabric that's 18 inches square. So note, I think I've said I had 8 feet, but it was actually 18 feet of bias binding. So I hope you enjoy the video. Like and subscribe, and leave me a comment if you have any questions. I will try to answer. I'm not a professional. I'm just at-home seamstress. I enjoy sewing. I've been sewing since I was about 12 years old. Been embroidering since I was a lot younger than that, and crocheting since I was 8. So I've always enjoyed doing those things. So I hope you enjoy the video. Stay tuned. So for my latest project, which I'm making an apron, I found I didn't have enough of my bias binding. So I cut out a square, and then I cut that square in half on the diagonal line, and I joined it like this. Sorry, it's wrinkled. So I will have to draw my marked lines on here. I'm doing 1.5 inch binding. Then I will make you a little dizzy, and I'll bring you over to my ironing board. And I'm using my little binding maker tool. It's not really the right size, but it is helping me get it pressed to a size that's similar to what I had on hand, which is this piece right here. So it won't be exactly perfect, but it will do for going around the edges of my little apron. That's what I'm working on today. Have a wonderful day. I'll update a little bit more later on. I have the binding pinned around the pockets. We'll be stitching them on soon. Okay, I'm going to start stitching on my little pockets, putting the binding on. I hope this works out okay. I'm going to back stitch. Back stitching. A little trouble taking the clips off because my fingers don't want to cooperate with me. And I have a little brass looking stiletto here. It has a cover for it like this, and you're supposed to be able to put it on this end, but for some reason that end is too big, so I have to use it on the short part. Okay, let's see how good or bad I did. It looks like I caught everything. So anyway, there's my little pockets. Hope you can see them. So I'll be back when I'm ready to do my next step. Okay, I'm getting ready to stitch the neck binding on. I forgot to tell you, whenever I made my binding, it said about 216 inches, and that's 8 feet of binding out of 18-inch square piece of fabric. That's pretty good, I think. I'm running out of bobbin thread, so I'm going to have to refill my bobbin, and I will finish sewing on the binding. I'll show you. There's the neck binding. I got to trim off my leader ender piece of fabric here. But I'll be back when I get the rest of the binding. I have to put it around the arm, down the side, and around the bottom. I did modify the bottom. The bottom was supposed to be scalloped, but I decided to just make it go kind of at a curve around the bottom edge. So anyway, I will be back when I get all of that finished. I'm going to be stitching my tie-ins. So I'm just going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam around. I put a new needle in this morning. I was just wondering, has anyone tried sharpening their needles? I saw a few YouTube videos that showed how to do that, and I was wondering if it worked for you. Maybe you could let me know in the comments if you've done this. I'm not a speed sewer. I sew at my own pace. Okay. Cut my leader off. Snip the corner. Close, but not too close. Then I'm going to get my turning tool. Be right back. Okay, I have this little turning tool. It has a little latch hook on the very end of it. Most of the time I can get it to work. I've got to feel where the little latch is. Okay, I think I've got it. I'm trying to hold this so you can see it. Once you get it started, it's not too hard. Okay, I've got my end out. I just have to work it the rest of the way out. Okay. I have these old hair chopsticks for putting your hair up in a bun. They never would work for my hair, but they make a good turning tool, and for poking out corners and stuff for sewing. So I didn't throw them away for a reason, I guess. So I'm going to gently tug on my corners with my little seam ripper. And just do it gently so that I can get my corners a little straight. Okay, then the next thing I'll do after I finish making all of these, I'll take them over to my ironing board and I will press them. And then I'll get ready to sew them on. Okay, I'm down to my last strap. I need to prep it. I've got both of the waist tie strings, and I've got one neck strap already on, so I thought I would stitch this one on camera. Let's see. I did all of my stitching on my tie belts with a very, very narrow it's probably a 1/16 of an inch. It's not quite an eighth. I just wanted it as close to the edge as I could get it. Oops, my presser foot's getting away from me. Okay, that one's top stitched. I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, I'm going to attach it with a 3/8 inch seam, approximately. I use the edge of my presser foot. This is the wider presser foot. Do some back stitching. These days I don't sew over pins. I don't ever remember being told not to sew over pins during home ec way back in the day. And I always did sew over my pins. But I did break a few needles, and now that I know you're not supposed to sew over pins, I don't sew over pins. I'll come up real close, but I try not to sew over. Okay. Okay, so I've got it sewed with about a 3/8 inch seam there, so I'm just going to fold it over and I'm going to top stitch around to secure it in place. Now I'm going to sew down between the two lines and kind of help secure it in place. Okay, I have another strap on. It's not perfect. Didn't line up perfect right there, but it's stitched. It's not going to go anywhere. So that is both top straps, and then belt straps are both on. Okay, and then on my pockets, I had this little trim that was at the bottom of this fabric, and I kind of, it was at the very bottom of the border print, and it was just a little row, it's like little charms, and so I put those on the pockets. So I thought I cut out this, I searched the edges, and then I top stitched it down with the eighth of an inch all around. So now the pattern shows a piece of lace. And so what I'm going to do instead of the piece of lace is I'm going to put this little piece in this area. I'll get that pinned on and I'll be back. Okay, I have my little insert pinned on. I also have my little pockets pinned on. They're going to cover up a couple of the faces on the dress, but that was the correct placement for the pockets, so they're still little girls and little kiddos showing, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. So let's see how this works out. See if I can make this look okay, since I'm kind of doing my own thing here. I need to go up another one more stitch. Just going to stitch real close to the edge on the top part of the binding. Pan out. Try to make it match the other side. Okay, doesn't look too bad. Now we'll top stitch around the pockets on the bottom edge. I'm going to backspace a couple of times for just a little extra security there. I left my pincushion on my ironing board. I'm using my ironing board. I can reach my ironing board. I can't reach my pincushion, so I'm using my ironing board for a pincushion at the moment. to the end of this pocket. Backspace a couple of times for extra security. Okay, that pocket is on. I'm going to stitch the other pocket on off camera. Okay, the apron is finished. I put her on my little half mannequin. Try to give you an idea how it looks. Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see that neck. And then the pockets. I just have the ties kind of pinned to my ironing board there. Okay, the apron is finished.